Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening session of day 18 of 28 days to a new consciousness. And we begin, of course, right now, hosted here live on the Awaken the World page. Hello, hello, hello. So nice to see you all again. Looking forward to our meditation tonight. We are going to be doing, my variation of Om Shanti. And the idea is to bring peace upon each and every one of you. And that's actually not the correct way I should say that. It is allowing the peace that rises within me to be felt so strongly that you resonate in recognition of the peace that's rising within you. That is what the wish is that I have for you tonight. Kelly, too. She's over there in the corner, smiling, sort of. So, what are we going to talk about this evening? This morning we talked about possession. How about objects? Anything that we are clinging to, anything that we are attached to, is actually possessing us. Now, this evening I want to talk about why that is and what happens to us energetically, as well as talk about, the thing we've talked about many times before, and that is desires. Now, keep in mind, I've been working with one of our group members quite closely as of late, and I see a trend, that this same trend of the underlying foundation of ego that we have to start knocking out with a sledgehammer. And we're going to do a little more talking about that in some dedicated videos coming up. But for today, Susan is here. Glorious evening indeed. Hello, Susan. So good to see you. Glorious. So for today, let's talk about the energy issue. So, as I said to Kelly at dinner time, I'm fasting right now. So as I was watching the meat, I said, our house is a possession. And that possession indeed possesses us in some measure. Now, how do you reduce the impact of this energy loss? And we're going to talk about what happens. Well, the way you reduce it is to not be attached to it. To not be attached to the house as part of you. Because that's what ego does, is it literally tries to possess it in order to encompass it within itself, to make itself feel larger, more secure, more real. Because deep down inside, it knows it's not as real as it has you fooled to believe it is. And when we are attached to an object, let's take one of the most obvious ones, a brand new expensive car. We become possessed on so many levels, even though we think we possess a new car. For one, the car typically belongs to the bank. Not you, even though it may have your name on it. Then there's the issue of the car payment. It appears good on the surface until you lose your job because there's cutbacks at the company you work at, or an accident occurs and you're unable to work. Then there's the care and the maintenance, the worry and concern when the car is in a parking lot, that someone doesn't put a dent in it or ram a shopping cart into it. All of these things take our energy and make our focus that object of attention. We pour our energy into it. And at first we think it feels good. We're out driving in our brand new expensive convertible. We got the first month no payment. We've got a whole month to think about the $750 that's going to be coming out of our account. The sun is shining. and we're rolling down the highway with the top down and life appears perfect. We received what we desired, the new car. But in reality, just like every other possession, we're not looking for the form. We're not looking for that exterior object. You see, we feel something is missing inside of us, and since part of our being is not made up of a fancy sports car, and nor do we swallow Tonka toys, it's not the car I really want. What I'm looking for is a feeling I think that the car is going to give me, because I feel a lack of that feeling in my life right now. And I never understand that the lack is due to the way I am perceiving my life, the way I am thinking about my existence. So we give it our energy. And we keep giving things energy. And when we're attached to them, that energy stays there. When we refuse to be attached to them, we can make a choice to buy that car. Because we are fully aware in our awareness, without attachment in the way, that we are buying both halves of what we see in that vehicle. We are buying the sheer exhilaration of driving down a sunny highway with the top down in the summertime, and we are buying the pain of the monthly payment and the insurance and the worry and the maintenance. And if we remain unattached from the vehicle, if something severe happens to the vehicle, God forbid, someone totals it in the parking lot when you're in shopping, backs their tank right over top of it, it's really okay with you. Your energy doesn't reside in the car. When you believe part of you resides in that car, when you're attached to it, the crushing of that car is catastrophic for you on every level, even though it's only a car. This is what I talked about with desires and why it is so important to understand that desires of the mind, for the most part, are going to lead to more suffering if they're centered around obtaining objects, obtaining people, relationships, status, wealth, power, control, anything external to try and feel better that doesn't involve recognizing yourself in another or selfless action, right? If you have a thought to volunteer in your community because you know it's going to make you feel good about yourself, that is a desire that really can't go wrong, because your desire isn't based on attempting to feel good for yourself, even though it is. You're understanding that that's what you're doing as you're serving another. And in that, your relationship with that other changes. Your relationship with that person is one of mutual respect and love, because you understand that you are serving them because you choose to serve them for your benefit. The desires that involve trying to get something to fulfill a way we feel, an object or a person, inevitably lead to the pain, because we're not willing to take the other half, the other side of the coin. And everything within this material realm has both sides of the coin, has the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, and it has the balance between them, and it's available to you at all times. When we let go of our desires, as far as our existence goes, our desires for objects, for comfort. I have to be honest with you, in my case, I have no desire for anything except to serve and to grow and evolve. And in that, everything that I need is coming to me. We're not rich. We don't drive a fancy car. We drive a 9-year-old car with 170,000 kilometers on it. It's a Honda Civic. It'll last forever. We don't spend a lot of money, but you know what? Life brings to me everything I need. Most importantly, it brings me everything I need to grow and evolve. And when you give up the idea that something outside of yourself will ever make you whole, it doesn't mean that there will not be things that come into your existence that you find fulfilling. The difference is you won't be attached to them. And when you're not attached to them, and when you understand that as much as you don't need them, you're happy to have them there, the subconscious fear that one day they'll be gone disappears because you're simply not worried about it anymore. And the same goes for people, the same goes for everything. Everything becomes more pure for you, including your mind, because you're going to become happier and happier and more joyous as you simply refuse to give in to those things that the mind feels it wants. And those will begin to decrease. And more you will see the pure joy of serving those around you. This is our choice in this life. This is what we're here to finally remember, that we are all creating, that we all have these misguided desires that are trying to reach outside of ourselves. And that the best thing you can do for yourself and anyone else around you is to empower them, to see the magnificence of the being they are, and to see that in the stillness, in the surrendering to life, in the faith that you are here for purpose and reason, that everything that you truly desire at your highest level of being will come at just the right time and in just the right way. Namaste to you tonight. All my love, all Kelly's love. We look forward to seeing you tonight at 7:30 for our meditation. Peace for all, peace for eternity, peace for free. Good night for now.